there was a viral Vogue article that was really asking the question as to whether having a boyfriend in this day and age was, quote, embarrassing. So I believe the argument being made, having a quick read of it, was that there's a cultural shift in how relationships are displayed, with there being a trend towards ambivalence now, as opposed to a boyfriend, I suppose, no longer being seen as the cultural prize it once was. Did you see this article, and what was your initial reaction to it if you did see it?
I did. I read the article. It was a very short read, 7 minutes long, and there are a few points that I could agree with the author about, namely the fundamental argument that women don't need to have relationships in order to feel fulfilled as human beings. I think that that's true. I think it's also true for men. I don't think that it's probably a good idea for any human being to primarily define their identity relative to any kind of relationship they have, as that's a connection with some sort of external circumstance that isn't actually intrinsic to the individual. So I can agree with her on that point. But I do think that the author then goes far beyond that argument. To kind of summarize my take, I do think that the idea that being single is a flex is more of a cope than true, because you can do nothing and be single. If being single was a flex, then we couldn't differentiate between the unattractive women who never leave their house and make no effort to be the type of person who could command the attraction and commitment of another human being, versus the woman who can do those things but chooses not to, which is probably the easiest discrimination to make between two categories of human beings. So unfortunately, the way economics works is the alternative that requires no effort or less effort will never be valued as much as the alternative that requires more effort. This is basic, like, economics. I could sell the raw materials for a smoothie for less than I could if I actually blend them together and sell you a finished product, because I've applied my creativity and effort to those raw materials. So that's kind of how it is. Being single can't possibly be more of a status symbol than being in a relationship, because among other things, being in a relationship means that you're a decent enough and attractive enough human being that at least one other person said, you are my best option and I'm willing to commit to